You're facing a decision, growth, sustainment, changing where you're going with your business, and you know you need money to do it. Well, what do you do and how do you get that money? That's what we're going to talk about. Hi, I'm Steve Brady, the Executive Director at the Covation Center in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and I want to talk to you about getting money for your business. Let me dispel a couple things first. A lot of people come to us and say, how do I get grant money? How do I get grants for my business? You've seen that guy on TV with all the question marks all over his outfit, and he's the grants guy, and he's going to tell you how to get all this government money. Guess what? It's not really there. And that's one of the biggest challenges we face. For the most part, there are not grants out there for small business. That doesn't mean they aren't there, but they're fewer and further between than most people would lead you to think. So setting that aside for a brief moment, there's really a couple things you can do. You can save money, you can get investors, or you can take out a loan. Now, at the Covation Center, we generally kind of fall in line with Dave Ramsey and Financial Peace University, and we like to agree with him and say debt is dumb and cash is king, and the paid off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I love that tagline he has. Occasionally though, you will want to borrow money, and that allows you to leverage what they call OPM, other people's money. I would encourage you to look at other ways of doing it first. Before I dive into the 5 things you need to think about before going for a business loan, I do want to talk about the difference between investors and loans. So if you were to get investors to buy into your business, and maybe you've seen this on Shark Tank or some of those other shows, The Profit, what they talk about is getting a percentage of ownership of your business in exchange for a certain amount of money. So they'll give you maybe $300,000 for 30% of your business. That tells you a couple things. They value your business at about $1 million. The $300,000 is 30% of $1 million. And they want to see your business grow because they own 30% of it. They are invested. They have a vested interest in your business doing well. Now, a bank will look at you a little bit differently. They're going to look at your business and say, we're going to give you money. No, we're not. We're going to loan you money. We're not going to give it to you. We're going to loan it to you with the intention that you will pay us back with interest. They're not investing, they're loaning. And that means you have to give it back to them. And if you don't give it back to them because your business is not as successful, they don't go, oh, I own 30% of a less than successful business. They say, you owe us all that money back and interest. And what that can mean is you lose your house, you lose your car, you lose the equipment you just bought for your business. Loans carry a significant amount of risk that's tied to that. And as such, there's a significant hurdle that you have to cross to be able to qualify for that. So let's talk about 5 steps to getting a loan, and then I'll talk about some more of the pitfalls at the end. And then some bonus tips on how maybe you can get by with some other loans that will really work in your favor in a program called Kiva. That's coming up at the end. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. And you may know from The Sound of Music, when you read, you begin with ABCs. Well, when you borrow, you begin with, what do I need? So you look at your business and say, I need a loan. I need money, I need a loan. I would like to buy a piece of equipment that enables me to do what I do faster. I can produce more. So maybe that's a new bottling line because you're a brewer and you want to be able to bottle beer faster. Maybe it's a roaster, a larger roaster because you have a coffee shop and you roast your own coffee. Or maybe you're making beeswax candles because you sell honey and you want to make beeswax candles and you want to make them faster than you're able to do it. Equipment can help you do that. So what do you need? What's the need first off? If you can't articulate a need, well, you don't need the money, right? But the second part of that is asking yourself the question, how much do I need? What do I need the money for? You're going to want to enumerate. You're going to want to list out all the things that you're going to need, and maybe even put a 10 or 20%, maybe a 30% hedge on there saying there's going to be cost overruns. Inflation is running right now, so maybe I need to pay attention to that. So you want to answer the question, what do I need? In other words, what is this money for? How much will I need? And then you're going to want to make sure that you have the ability to pay it back. That's a tough one, right? You want to make sure that you can pay back the loan, perhaps even if it doesn't play out the way you hope it would. Because keep in mind, it's a loan. You're going to have to pay it back one way or the other. So that's step one. Step two is, well, okay, you figured out what you want, you figured out how much you need, and you think you can pay it back. Notice I said you think. It's hedging. Well, check your qualifications, and that means, do you know if you qualify for a loan? These are loans. They're not looking to see the viability of your business other than to see if you can pay the loan back. So different lenders will have different requirements. They're going to want to look at your bank records. They're going to want to look at your payroll statements. They're going to want to look at your revenue and expense statements, your cash flow, to see that you are a viable business, that you have a growth plan in place, and that you're looking to hit those targets. So do you qualify? And then ask the bank specifically, what targets do I need to hit? Step three is pulling all that together. You got to gather all your documents. They're going to require profit and loss statements. They require assets and liabilities or balance sheets. They're going to look at your sales volume, your trajectory of sales. Are you a growing business? Have you been doing better and better year after year, or are you a declining business and you're hoping this money will carry you to the next payroll? They're not going to loan you money to carry you over for the next couple of months if you're not seeing the end in sight for growth. Step four, compare lenders and lending opportunities. There's all sorts of different banks out there, all sorts of different ways to get money. I won't mention by name a couple of them that might be named in a way that sounds like vegetables, but some of these out there will promise you large amounts of money, but if you don't read the bottom lines very carefully, the fine print, you'll find out you're paying them a very large interest rate. You cannot pay them off early, so pay a lot of attention to the lender you're looking to. Here's a piece of advice. If at its face, it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Doesn't mean it always is. That's why we use the word probably. But if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So look for tried and true vendors. Look for the amount of money they'll be able to loan you, what they're going to be getting back from you, what the timetables are. Pay attention to all of those things. And check and make sure that whoever it is has a good reputation. Now, if you look at comparing lenders, one other thing you might want to look for is, are they SBA or Small Business Administration guaranteed loans? Here's a gotcha. People seem to think a guaranteed loan is, if I don't make the payments, I don't have to pay. That's really not true. An SBA guaranteed loan simply says they're going to guarantee a percentage of that loan on your behalf, 50%, 75%, maybe 80% of that loan. So if you were, heaven forfend, going to default on the loan, in other words, if you were not able to pay it back, the federal government through the SBA will cover that percentage of it. So let's say they cover 50% of the loan, they guarantee 50% of it. Who's on the hook for the other 50%? If you didn't know it was you, that could be a problem. So SBA guaranteed loans are a good way to get a loan if you don't have the collateral to put forward, if you don't have a house, if you don't have a motor home, or you don't own the building your business is in, then an SBA loan can help you do that. But you got to hit all those other qualifications. You need to make sure for your sake that you'll be able to pay that loan back. So when you look at these programs, you're comparing lenders, check interest rates, check payback periods, check and see if you can pay it back early. Loans that you can't pay back early are really challenging for you, right? You're going to keep paying interest on something over a longer period of time. And then finally, the fifth step to get you there is to submit the application. Once you've figured out who your lender is, you know how much you're going to want, then you submit that loan application and make sure it's accurate. Be ready to answer any questions, provide any further documentation, and be prepared for them to dig. They're going to be digging into everything about you and your business. They're going to run background checks on you. They're going to run banking, credit history reports on you and your business. And they may still come back and say no. So those are the challenges you face, right? As you go in looking for a loan, you owe somebody money. They don't care how your business does. They're going to get the money back one way or the other. And there could be things that get in the way of you being able to pay back that loan, and they don't care. Now, remember, I talked about investors as another way to do it. Another way, a third way, is to set aside the money as you grow your business. We recommend using a book called Profit First that helps you set aside money, because making money is not a bad thing. It's what we all want to do. It recommends setting aside money so as you grow your business out of your own capital, out of your own savings. So instead of paying interest on the money, it's earning you interest while it's sitting there growing interest in a bank account, so that you then have it available to grow your business when you need the money. I highly recommend, if you haven't read it, looking for the book Profit First. And I mentioned one other thing. Here at the Covation Center, we are what's called a Kiva trustee. Kiva is a community-based lending program. They will loan you money in small amounts, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, sometimes a little bit more. But they do it on behalf of your friends and neighbors. So what happens is you reach out to your community and you say, hey, community, hey, friends, hey, customers, hey, family, hey, neighbors, we want to buy a new roaster. And I know a business in Tennessee right now that is reaching out to their community to buy what it will be their third roaster for a coffee company. We actually have their coffee here at the Covation Center from time to time. So they reach out to their community and they're asking for money. Well, the Kiva program makes it a loan. Right, so they do it in what's called microloans. They'll reach out to me and they'll say, Steve, would you loan us $25 or $50 or $200? And Steve, along with everyone else, will give a small amount of money that becomes aggregated into a larger loan. But we're donating, no, scratch that, we're not donating. We're loaning the money to this business. That business then will pay back me over 1, 2, or 3 years through Kiva. So I give the money to Kiva to loan out to you as a business owner. You then will pay Kiva back, who will then disperse the funds back to us as the people that loaned out the money. Now, you think about it for a second. If I loan $25, hey, well, you know what? It's really no skin off my teeth. I've never quite understood that phrase, but it's no skin there because it's only $25. And when you pay it back over 3 years, I'm getting pennies on the dollar. But if you borrow $10,000 and you pay back a 3-year loan of $10,000, they're distributing that money back to the people that loaned it out. This does a couple things. Because you first reach out to your community, you are connected to your community, and your community is connected back to you. They, in a sense, view it as an investment because they want to see you succeed in your community for many reasons. One of which is you're part of that community and they want to see you grow because they know growing your business grows the community. But the other things it does is it helps individuals. I heard somebody refer to it at a bank. They call this a forced savings plan. If I'm loaning $25 a month to different businesses through Kiva, then I'm setting aside $25 a month that at the end of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years will have amounted to something more significant. Think about that for a minute. $25 a month. Every 4 months, I'm putting $100 in. So every 4 months works out to $300 a year I'm saving. Now, if you do $50, that's $600. You do $100 a month, you're saving $1,200 because you're going to get it back because the people that took out the loan are paying it back. The Kiva program is a great way to reach your community and grow your business with smaller loans. Now, here's the final reason why that's important. Almost all trusted, verifiable banking organizations won't loan to small businesses for less than $50,000. The vast majority of small businesses don't need $50,000. They need 5, 10, maybe 20. And when you think about the difference that you would have to take just to get a $50,000 loan and what that payback would be for a long period of time, you can see how another approach might be more attractive. Remember, those other approaches can be set aside the money in savings every month, see if you can get some investors, or pursue a Kiva loan. So there's some steps on how to get a bank loan, some thoughts on maybe why you should or shouldn't do it, and some alternatives. Hopefully this has been of value to you, and if you're interested in the Kiva loan, reach out to us. We are a Kiva trustee, and what does that mean? It means that we work with you to make sure that you're a viable choice for people in your community, and we help you shape the message to your community to talk to them about how you want to borrow money from them in small micro loan amounts. Until next time, I'm Steve Brady, the Executive Director of the Covation Center. Take care. Hopefully this resonated with you and you've learned something from this video. If you'd like to learn something from other videos, well, click that one there, or maybe it's there, or I don't know, maybe it's over there. Click one of those videos. We have a lot of great information and made readily available through those things. And don't forget, click subscribe, click like on this one, and we'd love it if you go ahead and click that notification bell so that you know next time we release these videos that you as a small business owner can use.